How's it going, everyone? You guys knew this video was coming. Look, I'm a PlayStation fan, and a lot of you guys think I am overly critical with PlayStation in a lot of my videos, and I am not that level of critical when it comes to Microsoft, when it comes to Nintendo even. And there's a very good reason for that, because I actually have a level of attachment towards PlayStation, because I actually care about PlayStation IPs, and I do care about Microsoft and Nintendo IPs for sure, but I've grown up on PlayStation. PlayStation has always been my favorite console, and I want to see them do well. I know that they have an incredible, a repertoire of studios under their umbrella. I know they have an incredible lineup of IPs under their umbrella. So much legacy, so much history attached to PlayStation as a brand, and I saw what they were doing in the late 2000s into the 2010s, where they were really establishing a lot of their IPs, a lot of their brands, and the level of high-quality exclusives that they were dropping out. It was phenomenal to see. As somebody that grew up in the PlayStation 3 era, where the PS3, let's be honest, did have quite the bad rap to it, and then to see that perception get changed by the halfway point toward the latter portion of the generation with incredible exclusives, it was great to see. And then I look at what the PlayStation 5 has offered in terms of first-party output, and it has been outright terrible in 2023 and 2024, and let me articulate why that is. We all know why that is. It is because there has been a heavy emphasis on these live service projects, and one of the ones that, going back to that garbage, that atrocious, that pitiful PlayStation Showcase in 2023, that I just knew after that trailer, oh baby, this game's gonna be dicey, and that is Concord. We've been crapping on this game. I ain't even gonna mince words here. We've been crapping on this game for months now, and really going back to that damn burger trailer in 2023, this game has infuriated me. Now, back in 2023 with that burger trailer, I didn't know what this game exactly was gonna be in its entirety, but given how garbage that presentation was, the fact that they decided to slot in a burger trailer for one of their upcoming exclusives in a period where PlayStation's output looked to be rather lackluster was so infuriating, was so mind-numbing, that it just insulted me right out of the gate, and I had a negative perception towards this game from that moment onwards without even really knowing what it was. And I'm sorry that that was the case, but you know what? Why do we create these game trailers? Why do we create video game presentations and so on and so forth? It is to promote video games. It is to get people excited about video games, and when you drop burger trailers for a video game, I'm sorry, I ain't gonna get excited for it, and I will have a negative perception towards those games, just like with Fair Game. That game had a garbage trailer. Marathon, okay, at least it's from Bungie, a well-known publisher, so on and so forth, but we gotta do something about these atrocious trailers and look at games like Black Myth Wukong and Stellar Blade that actually get people excited. Alright, with that being said, Concord is a game that we saw its full reveal earlier this year. It inspired zero enthusiasm from me, it inspired zero enthusiasm from the PlayStation community, and hey, maybe me saying zero is a little bit of a stretch. Maybe there were people that were a little bit excited for it, but I look at this Steam concurrent player count, and certainly this is a live service project, so PlayStation dropping it on PC, the platform you'd think that a game like this would really resonate with, and it is at 93 concurrent players, all-time peak of 697 players. This game is a disaster. This game is an utter failure. I was about to say I can't quantify the level of failure that this game is. However, with an all-time peak of 697, we actually can quantify how big of a failure it is, but that doesn't tell the entire story, because we don't know exactly how much money was burned, and that's what happened. Money was burned in the creation of Concord, and I'm not advocating for anyone to lose their jobs. I am sure there are developers that worked incredibly hard on Concord. However, how this game even got greenlit, how this game was even thought of to be like, oh baby, we're cooking right now, we got something huge right now as far as a live service project, and maybe under the hood there is a good game here, but when you can fumble the presentation, the promotion of a game this hard, you deserve to get absolutely slaughtered. And it's a hero shooter at $40. Who is this target audience? I have no idea. Marvel's Rivals is coming out later this year. It has a cast of iconic characters baked into it. It's easy to say that that game is going to have a healthy level of interest, and it's free to play. In what universe was Concord going to pop off as a $40 hero shooter? It's just, I can't imagine where we are at, where the games like this is like the defining PlayStation release as far as first party goes. Really, Astrobot is gonna be that, but of all of 2024 up until this point, brothers, we got Concord, and at some point, and I've said this in previous videos, look, these publishers just gotta learn the hard way. If they're going to invest money into these games, these live service projects, and they're like, baby, we gotta get on that gravy train, we gotta get some people playing these games, and we gotta monetize these games. And I know that, whoever greenlit Concord, they were salivating, they were frothing at the mouth at the thought of, oh my god, this is gonna push PlayStation Plus subscriptions so people can play online, this is gonna push in-game microtransactions, we're gonna make money for years and years, baby, off Concord. And it is nowhere to be found. And the fact that this did get greenlit, look, I can honestly understand those executives, and I don't know who made the decisions. I don't know exactly the chain of events that led to this happening, this disaster situation happening. But I can understand if you sit down and are like, oh, dude, we could probably sell X, Y, and Z. We could make money for 2 to 3 to 5 years, 10 years off this game. Best case scenario, I can understand if I really dumb myself down to that level, if I just think, oh my god, gravy train. I can honestly understand. It's just a shame that PlayStation has had such a garbage output in 2023 and 2024, and a big part of that is because there was that level of investment made towards these live service projects. And I get it, Firewalk was always working on a hero shooter live service game apparently for 8 years now, which is wild to think about, but for a while it was probably making very, very little progress. Then PlayStation came on board, but I am sure the resources allocated to Concord could have been allocated to something, I don't know, that would have gotten people more excited. You have a wealth of exciting IPs under your umbrella, PlayStation, and I know there was a lot of money sunk into Concord. I don't think live service inherently is a bad thing, but pick your spots. A game like Helldivers 2, totally can understand. I've been hyping up Helldivers 2, going back to when that game got its gameplay reveal at the same Sony showcase that Concord was revealed, and for some reason, Fair Game at that showcase got the opening slot over Helldivers 2, which, like, I'm sorry to go on this diatribe. This situation just infuriates me, and it's because I've been talking about this for a year, and there are other content creators that have been bringing this up for the last year, being like, oh, PlayStation's output looks kind of lackluster given what PlayStation has offered in the past. And it doesn't just end with Concord. Concord is only a small piece of that puzzle. It also, you also gotta look at stuff like Naughty Dog putting so much time into Last of Us Factions. You gotta talk about resources being invested into Fair Game, and I get what you can say that, hey, Firewalk was gonna work on a game like this regardless. Okay, even if you're gonna do a game like this, there are some different decisions you can make, and from a Sony standpoint, I just dumb it down from my standpoint. You have resources to work with. You're gonna greenlight this game, that game. You couldn't cultivate a studio that would have worked on a game that, I don't know, would be more in line with what the PlayStation audience wants. And if it was coming out around this time, I don't know, I just feel like the perception of PlayStation right now would be so much different. And the most infuriating thing about all of this is PlayStation is just gonna get away with it. Okay, yeah, this game is a gigantic failure. Okay, yeah, in a vacuum, they're gonna lose a bunch of money in the development of this game, but ultimately, they have no competition. There's no opportunity for an Xbox to come in and check PlayStation, which is what you need in a healthy gaming ecosystem. When you do something as disastrous as this live service push is, ideally, you want somebody to come in and check you, much like when Microsoft and Xbox tried to push no used games always online. You had PlayStation come in, oh, this is our opportunity to come in and check ya, and they went off, they did the meme used game video, and we were off to the races with that generation, and that gave a huge opportunity for PlayStation to capitalize, and Xbox as a brand is still feeling the brunt of those decisions. And I am not saying the live service push is as bad as that decision. What I am saying is a healthy gaming ecosystem would have a competitor to PlayStation. That just doesn't exist, which is bad for the consumer. I assure you guys that is ultimately bad for the consumer. Now, You would think that after a failure this colossal, fair game, I would imagine, isn't gonna do that great. They would eventually realize and they would course correct, but with game development taking so long these days, the course correction process is actually gonna take a while. I don't even know, after Naughty Dog sunk so many years into the Last of Us multiplayer project, when Naughty Dog's next game is gonna come out. It could very well be a PlayStation 6 game. I don't know how far in development that game is, but again, that is the consequence that they're gonna feel. The biggest consequence would have been if there was a market competitor to come in and also take a little bit of market share. I just don't see that from Xbox. I just don't see that from Microsoft. I don't see that from Nintendo either, because Nintendo lives on an island on their own, and, they're gonna be a juggernaut, but they're not really a direct competitor to PlayStation. That's why PlayStation is comfortable releasing LEGO Horizons on the Nintendo Switch. They don't be caring about that. And PC's not a direct competitor either. But it would just be great if in the console space there was a direct competitor that was doing a lot of great work. I like some of the stuff Microsoft is doing, but for the most part, it's going to be a very, very uphill battle for them to climb, and they're kind of checked out of the console space. I mean, they're releasing their games on PlayStation, so that just ain't gonna fly. When you have your competitor releasing games on your platform and you ain't even gonna give them LEGO Horizons, what does that say about the console space? You don't really have a competitor anymore, which is an incredibly advantageous place for PlayStation to be in. Not a great place for the consumer to ever be in, but I digress. That is gonna do it for me. I've been saying this for how long, you guys, and a lot of you guys thought I was flipping out, I was making much ado about nothing, give the game a chance. I saw so many of those comments. Well, I don't want to toot my own horn here, and it's not like I was saying something that earth-shattering. A lot of people had this take. A lot of people going back to the burger trailer were crapping on this game and being like, why are you showcasing burger trailers for video games? But, there were the PlayStation Elite Defense Task Force, let's call them, that won't criticize anything PlayStation does, and, those are the people that were like, oh, give Concord a chance. It might be really good, and it's just like, bro, this game's going on PlayStation Plus Essential by the end of the year, That'll do it for me. Let me know all of your thoughts in the comments section down below. Sound off there. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.